Welcome back to the second half. Shep stepped away for a second or something. I don't really know. We're good, though. We're actually not good. The next part directly involves him. Oh, you're back. 6 days later, you all arrive at the very outskirts of Blingdenstone, specifically the magical barrier that protects the city. Shep, as Rik-Jaxx approaches, you feel something pressing up against your mind. And it's less of like a sentient entity and more of like a pet, like a cat brushing up against you, speaking in your mind like, welcome back.
And where exactly are we when I get this
You
feeling?
are 6 days down in the tunnels.
So where we had met those Umbral folks?
I'm sorry, you're actually 13 days down. My bad. You are at the outskirts of the city.
Okay.
So way past the Umbral folks.
Okay, so I sense this. I mean, I'll try to. Is this more of a telepathy thing? I'm like, who is this?
I am the great city of Blingdenstone. You are one of my children.
That's very interesting. I don't recall Blingdenstone being like sentient.
I'm glad to see you again. Would you like me to allow your companions through?
I would. We have some grain to offer to the residents, so we're here to help in what small way we can.
Okay. For the rest of you, you all kind of space out for a moment. When you come to several seconds later, Rik-Jaxx has continued walking, and the rest of you are just kind of stopped. But your minds have cleared of whatever temporary, like a brief but intense headache.
You guys okay? You guys feel that?
I think the rations might be going bad. Do you think that guy ripped me off? He seemed really like...
Where are we in our rations?
Well, are you covering rations for the whole party? All 4 people?
No.
Who are you covering rations for?
Myself.
Because you are all required to eat 13 rations because it's been 13 days.
Yeah, you need to cover for me too because I gave you all the rations.
I bought them from you. They're my rations now. You can buy them back from me for 10 silver pieces.
I'm starved to death then. I'll give you my last 2 copper pieces to not die.
I'll give you 2 copper pieces worth of food.
So I've starved to death.
Now what have we learned?
That money doesn't just grow on trees.
I think we've learned a lot.
I think I've learned that I can't trust Runa, and that hurts. I don't know how I feel about that.
So we'll figure out what's happening with Mortrick and Runa in a second. Runa clearly is going to have enough rations to survive. Kazador, how are you doing? 13 rations?
I got 10. I'm down to -3.
Well, you can starve for 3 days.
Or you're going to have to go to the Bank of Runa.
Yeah, I'll start.
I mean, I bought 30 rations for the group. I didn't realize when they,
Technically, I paid you for those rations. You bought them and then sold them to me.
Yeah, but when you gave me the money, it became my money.
Right, and it became my rations.
Oh,
That's how money works.
That's true. Runa, this hurts me. It really does.
Mortrick, I know it does, but you also have to learn that money doesn't grow on trees, and there are things that happen because of your actions.
All right, so how many days do I starve to death before you
You can pay me at Blingdenstone.
That sounds fair.
I had 15 rations, so
you're
that
good.
gives me a couple extra to give to Kazador and Mortrick.
Kazador, you haven't had anything to eat all day.
Yeah, well, now I've had 1 ration between the 3 days.
Okay.
So which day are we talking
2
now?
days. You haven't had anything to eat in 2 days.
Okay, yeah. I'm sneaking handfuls of wheat off that cart.
I mean,
Bart's
that's your,
can forage, but
you
Mortrick
paid
does
for
not.
that wheat. That's your wheat. You eat as much of it as you want to.
Exactly.
Can you
That's what I'm doing.
don't you need to process wheat?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you
mean-
could just eat the raw wheat.
I'm gonna eat the raw wheat. I'm
It's
not.
like trail mix. Yeah, eat the raw wheat.
Yeah, I'm a dwarf. I don't give a fuck.
One day without food is a point of exhaustion.
Raw grains contain substantial amounts of anti-nutrients that are harmful to humans, inhibiting their digestive process and locking up vital nutrients in indigestible form. Uncooked flour can make you sick.
But I got a poison resistance save.
Yeah, great. Well, let me ask, Mortrix, what are you eating?
Mortrick is eating rations with the caveat that he pays me a Blingenstone.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
surviving on Runa's largesse.
I need you to make your save, Kazador, against eating wheat.
I never thought I'd have to do this in D&D. This is amazing.
Which one is that? Of course that.
It'll be a Constitution save, and
It's gonna be it's a custom roll.
save versus wheat. You have resistance against poison. So congratulations, you'll get advantage on this.
Okay.
Okay. There's it's a little diarrhea, but other than that,
What? 18?
Just because you roll a natural 20 does not mean you saved it.
just because you eat poison doesn't mean you get to avoid all the consequences. You're just not vomiting and running out of water from all the vomiting.
Yeah. Give me a class that's resistant to wheat.
Wheatomancer, of course, He uses his threshing powers in order to divine the future. Hey, man, you laugh, but it worked for Spice and Wolf. That shit was amazing.
Divines knowledge from crop circles.
Yeah, that's how Spice and Wolf work. Man, if you haven't seen Spice and Wolf, that shit's incredible.
Wait,
It's the
what?
most accurate medieval currency / romance simulator I've ever seen in my life.
Spice and Wolf? Wait,
Spice and
spell-
Wolf is an anime about
So good.
a traveler who encounters the god of wheat in a village and decides to smuggle her out of the village. And then they basically have like a 20-book long romance.
How do you spell that?
Oh wait, I'm
I'll
thinking
send it to you.
of something else.
It's fine.
In
Wolf
wolf,
children. That's what I'm thinking of.
fish, chips,
Not the same.
rock.
Not the same at all. Not the same at all. All right, I got it in the RPG channel. Yeah, man, Spice and Wolf is dope as hell. They're constantly going to medieval currency manipulation and it's Spice and Wolf, not Spice and Wolf.
It's just an N apostrophe. Spice and Wolf.
It's like whenever I tell people about this cool game called Mountain Blade, and they're like, "Why is there a blade the size of a mountain?" And I'm like, "No, Mount and Blade."
Oh, come on. Who makes that
Oh.
mistake?
I mean,
My
I would,
sister
let's
made
be
that mistake. So did my mom, and literally anyone I've ever said that word to that's never played the game.
Great game. Where's Bannerlord?
I mean, it is a highly variable game.
Oh, come on. It's a great game.
It can be very great, and other times it can be really bad.
I don't know about that. Even those bad moments are pretty
Attacking
great.
cities is so hard. You know
Yeah.
how hard it is to get solo. You know how hard it is to solo get an army together to take an entire city by yourself?
Get good, AP. Get good.
Fucking all right. Well, let me describe in graphic detail about Kazador coming back to the caravan after a break. He's walking kind of funny. His face is red. He's holding his stomach with his left arm, going, oh. Making gentle cooing noises to himself. What is happening this episode? I don't even know. Never have I described pooping so completely. All right. Well, the next day, you reach the outskirts of Blingdenstone. I think I sent you guys this beautiful painting that Barbara made for this particular thing.
Yeah,
Still-
awesome.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get it to
Why don't I
people.
pull it up on the thing?
Sure.
For sure.
Based on a layer, maybe.
Feces matter.
Boom.
So just in case, this is Barbara Bendinger. She did this wonderful art for me. Listen, she's done so many pieces for me, and I've never been able to get any of them on stream.
We did it, guys.
We finally got one on stream. She did work for BattleTech that's finally going to see the light of day, and she's doing some of the stuff for me for Game of Thrones. So just in case all these people are busy, you can't have Bearded, by the way. Stay away from Bearded. He's mine now. I'm fucking claiming him for this Warhammer. How much do you know about Warhammer, by the way?
Not much, but I can learn.
All right. Do you like giant guns and, skull iconography and lots of people being like, for the Emperor?
Yeah, pretty much. Put beards on that. It's kind of my aesthetic.
Yeah, we'll get it done then.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you like this kind of thing, check out Barbara. Meanwhile, the party, this is the first thing you encounter. The caravan comes around a corner and you see this beautiful underground city. And Captain Leandro goes, "Yep, it's the 6 quarters of Blingdenstone, crown jewel of the Underdark. How something can have 6 quarters, I don't really know. Normally something only has 4 quarters. So as you approach that bridge that crosses over to the central area, you can see that there aren't that many travelers ahead of you. And they're all being regarded with some manner of suspicion. The traveler that's directly ahead of you is alone. And as she throws back her hood, it's pretty clear that several things are very obvious. She's a dark elf. And she's got her silver hair pulled back into a set of dreadlocks that are pretty tightly done. She's got a bow on her back. And as soon as one of the guards sees her, he's just like, "It's a drow! Be at the ready." She taps something on her shoulder that you can't see because, you're looking at her from behind. And the rest of the guards are like, "Stand down! She's one of the 7 defenders, boy." By the hells. All right. Come along, Lady Zephyr. You're good to go. She silently passes through the gates.
All right. So Rik-Jaxx will resheath his dagger. And what was that name that we caught?
Lady Zephyr. She's one of the 7 defenders.
Zephyr, okay. And then what were you saying, Connor?
I was asking, who are the 7 defenders?
Who are you asking that to?
The fellow that's explained
Bedard?
to the other guy.
So as you move forward, he's like, "You don't need to know about that yet. Let's take a look over your cargo here."
All right.
So you speak common, huh?
Yeah, I speak common.
Speak undercommon?
No, I don't.
Speak gnome?
No.
You have a real tough time in town. Might be in the wrong place.
I mean, we have had no shortage of tough times, so it's quite all right. We have brought rations.
Anybody among you speak gnome?
Yes, I step forward. I speak gnome. Rik-Jaxx says I can speak gnome.
So the guard immediately looks at your sword and is just like, I know you, son of Jax, huh?
You know of me?
Yeah, I know of you. We have your family's place been set aside. I think some drow have been camping out there, but if you want to reclaim it, it's in the 3rd quadrant.
That's good knowledge to know.
Well,
I think
I don't think it's been maintained for a little while. That's the rough side of town.
I've been away a while, so it's going to take me a while to get used to town regardless. So I appreciate the information.
Is this your first time back in, several years?
That's true.
The Securitat is going to want to speak to you.
And who's Securitat?
It's a new organization. It was made in the aftermath of the sacking.
You okay there, Runa?
Yep. Just getting used to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So you say that, the rest of the gnomes look around with pride, and they're like, yeah, that's right. And then one of them like points and is like, from over there, the gemstones provide the magic that opens the portal from the one end of the plane of air to the other. All of the fumes and chemicals of the Underdark are pushed by our magic. Like, all the rest of the gnomes are like coming to attention and saluting as they turn towards, you know, this giant hole on one of the walls that's surrounded by gleaming blue gemstones. And you could almost like see air being pushed out, incredibly dense air. Yes, life in the Underdark would be impossible without Blingden Stone. Truly, we are the capital of civilization. And as he's saying this, one of the guys is like humming an anthem at the same time. Like, bum, 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 ba-dum. All the rest of them are like swelling to their full size. And then they turn around and they're just like, anyway, back to business.
Jeez, Kaz, it's like they like Rik-Jaxx just as much as your people hate you. It's kind of an interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Nice to see this.
We hate you as well. Dwarves are not well accepted in this
No
town.
one likes you. How does that feel? I don't know what that feels like. Can you just to me?
Don't worry, tall man. We hate you too.
Well, I don't get that a lot, but I'll win you over.
He won't.
Son of Jax, you'll need to report to the Securitat in order to explain themselves. They will fill you in on events that have happened after you've been debriefed.
We have this cart of grain that we're willing to sell to any local vendors.
That's good.
Are
We could
able to
use
do that
plenty of
before we
food.
talk? Can we do that before the Securitat, or do we need to go talk to them first?
I think you should speak to the Securitat as soon as possible.
All right.
Would you like to take one of your men with you as a bodyguard?
Sure. And lead the way, please.
So who are you taking with you?
Who am I taking with you? So I'm going on my own?
Yes, but they've offered to let you bring a bodyguard.
All right.
Honestly, Rick,
Rik-Jaxx is like, I take Captain Espresso Leon. I choose you.
I will take Kaz if he'll come along.
Oh yeah, I'll come along.
Oh yeah.
Well,
everybody
your
hates-
status just went from, you know, outsider, lost guy to now you're strolling down with a full-plated dwarven bodyguard. People are, you know, as you walk through town, right? Everything is dark colors. Dark stone everywhere, but there's these small gems that are lit magically from the inside that provide this array of colorations that even on the black, you know, you see splashes of blue and orange and yellow and red. And as Kaz walks through this area, his armor is gleaming with all of these colors and reflecting them outwardly, and he attracts a huge amount of attention. And where you are used to walking in stealth, you're being treated as if you're some sort of young noble returning to town for the first time with his incredibly powerful bodyguard with him.
With my disco ball?
Yeah, that
I was
you.
literally just thinking that.
So like, someone walks next to you and is like, in Gnomish, she's like, you must be a dangerous man to bring a dwarf with you. Good, friend. Good. I assume you're going to speak with the Securitat.
That is where we're heading, yes.
Well, keep your wits about you while you're there. Now, look, my name is Refrim. When you come out of the Securitat, let's talk. I heard while you were at the gate that you have wheat. You have wheat to sell, yes? Refrim is a good buyer of wheat. He'll give you a good price.
All right, we'll find you. Where can we find you after I'm done
I will
talking
wait
to
for
you?
you outside the bureau. I want to be the first one to get your wheat.
All right, we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that. So Kaz and I will continue forward.
All
to
right.
this-
I want to ask what happens with the rest of the party. Captain Leandro seems to be speaking with one of his guides that he brought for his caravan, and trying to figure out where to go from there. It sounds kind of like his men want to spread out among the city and try to get like good deals, figure out where the best offer is. But you guys have 2 whole wagons here, and now you've only got 3 people. Or sorry, you only have 2 people, right? You have Runa and Mortrick.
Yeah.
So the guards are just looking at you, and they're like, "You need to move along."
Where can we take this wheat to sell?
We'll probably follow Captain Espresso then. wherever
Okay,
he's-
I mean, he's
we're going
the
that-
guard is
okay.
just like wherever you want to sell it. If you
Oh.
can't speak Gnomish, it's going to be very difficult to spell.
Yeah, if we stay with his party, it'll be easier.
That's a good
You
point.
can drive the tools cart, and I'll drive the wheat cart.
What? I get to drive the cart?
Just to be clear, you
I can't drive
cannot,
both.
you can't be on the cart. You'll have to guide the mule.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, I'll guide the mule.
The carts are so overweighted. If you get on the cart, they will break.
Got it. I will guide the mule then.
All right, you guide the mule. We'll cut back. So the Securitat is in the 5th quadrant, which is the central palace. As you're approaching Kazador and Rik-Jaxx, you see that the palace has many more gemstones than the rest of the location. So while people that you're approaching, they wear clothing that keeps them warm in this kind of moderate temperature, everything here is like exactly 50 degrees, and there's always this light breeze coming from the western end of town. So people wear like bundled furs, some sort of like woven fungus that's been dried out. It's dark colored, very covering. The 2 of you approaching are a riot of color compared to them. But the closer you get to the central palace area, the more people are wearing not exposing, but colorful clothing. Lots of capes, lots of large hats, hats with veils, silks. And as you reach the edge of the palace district, you briefly look up for some reason, and you notice that above the palace, that central pillar that you see in the picture, there are people walking upside down on the ceiling.
Oh, is this common in Blingdenstone, Rik-Jaxx? You're muted.
You're muted.
I can't recall anyone doing this before.
Wow.
So the people who are walking up there, are they a particular race or?
They are
what's-
all deep gnomes up there. It's difficult to see though because it's over 1,000 feet up. You know what would help though is a spyglass.
Spyglass.
It's hard to make out many details. You just see them moving in the shadowy light of what little gemstones are up there. So as you get to the central palace, you've probably been here as a child, and as you mentioned, you don't have a lot of memories of Blingdenstone from before the sacking, but you do recall these grand gates. Several of the gemstones, the huge gemstones, like the size of several fists, have been removed and not replaced. The gate is no longer this wonderful riot of orange, but now it is kind of a very muted, almost dusky feel to it. And someone comes out to meet you wearing one of the Umbral Stalker uniforms and says, "Ah, welcome, friend. You are the son of Jaxx, yes?"
That is correct.
Would
And who are you?
your bodyguard prefer to stay here, or can we perhaps get him a seat inside?
Is there? Can't the bodyguard come with me?
What we have to discuss is private, Sverneflin business between us gnomes.
Don't worry, Rik-Jaxx. I'll stay outside.
All right.
When I staying outside the door, like saying, I can do that.
So he's bringing you into the palace compound, one of the wings of the palace, and he's like gesturing for one of his men to like bring you to a set of tables that are outside, and to like sit there and get a drink with somebody.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. So you're essentially at a secret police station with a ton of cops wandering around outside. You're getting a lot of looks.
So as I leave, Kaz, don't spend the night in their jail, okay? Try to avoid that.
Is that
All
the
I asked
problem
was
for
the
your
library.
friend?
So yeah, okay, all right. So if you're gonna hang out there, Rik-Jaxx will go along with that fellow again, the Umbral.
I am Securitat Officer Murder. I am here to ask you several questions, debrief you about your time, and fill you in on how things work around here. Now,
Okay.
I've been following your adventures. You have gained some manner of renown on the surface, yes? You are Rik-Jaxx.
That's correct. We try to do good deeds. I'm really surprised that you have news of us all the way down here, though.
We keep a very close watch on all of our lost children, and we were hoping that you would return to us sooner rather than later. So at this point, he switches from speaking common to speaking solely gnomish.
Okay.
Right now that Kazador isn't in the area, it's all gnome.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'll just tell him I actually had no idea that Lingdenstone was in this condition or even prospering at all. When I had left, I mean, the city was sacked and all but destroyed.
well, let me get to that in a moment. You have followed in both of your parents' footsteps. It says here in your file that you were to become an illusionist. In fact, you would have attended class with my daughter had you remained down here. But as you know, during the sacking, your quadrant of the city, the third quadrant, was the one hit first by the shadow and the dark elves that followed. The Shadow Spinner clan was merciless, and now the third quadrant has been turned into a sort of foreign quarter. Humans, dwarves, some drow, even former Shadow Spinner lived there. In fact, I believe a Shadow Spinner matron who is on the run has opened an orphanage in your family house. If you wish to reclaim it at any time, we can turn her out.
I'll remember that. So there's an actual, you're telling me there's a matron mother that's a rogue?
It is complicated. They use matron for many things. She is at the very least the head of a family. I'm not privy
drow
on
family?
the full details.
So she's the head of a drow family?
Yes. If you are thinking that she is an ultra-powerful spellcaster, this is not true. As far as I can tell, she is, while not completely innocent, she is not very powerful. And the information she provided us allowed us much defense.
What's her name?
Her name is Gwafina.
Excellent. So what else do I need to know?
Well, I was trying to debrief you, but now you're debriefing me. So, your family's estate is intact. Normally, these estates would be able to house all of the members of your extended family. There are at least 8 buildings within the compound, but you seem to be alone. At the very least, you don't have a wife or children, and all of your cousins, extended cousins, and family are all dead. So I must report that if you had any hope of surviving relatives, they are all gone.
So even the last I saw were my parents defending the quadrant.
They are dead.
Dead for sure. Okay.
I am sorry.
Understood. Okay.
We have a small repayment set aside for you.
You do?
Your parents' sacrifice and your father's repeated service in the name of the crown. If you check with the royal treasury, I believe you are owed about 750 gold pieces.
Alrighty.
Remind you that this is the entire fortune of your family and what the state owes you to repay their sacrifice. So please try not to spend it all in one place. especially if you wish to reclaim your family's estates.
Understood. Okay, that's a nice tidy sum.
No.
I don't think I've seen that much gold in my whole life.
Normally, the city would house around now about 8,000 people, but there has been some activity recently, and it's a bit lower than that. Probably over half of that is gnomish. If you would like, you could take one of our teleportation circles to one of the 7 colonies. Some of those colonies have colonies of their own, so you could find yourself very deep within the Underdark. But I'm told that the outlying areas are very peaceful and almost pastoral.
So what are these colonies? From people who fled the city?
Well, before the sacking, there were the 7 colonies that had been set up. But after the sacking, many decided that centralization was bad. And so the teleportation circles were set up in order to facilitate moving food and resources and also people. Caravans traveling between the colonies to the capital were being destroyed by the shadows. So it was not working out very well for anyone. The shadow spinners were... They could not face us in open combat, but for ambushes, they were more than effective enough.
Okay.
As a gnomish citizen by birth, it is your right to use the teleportation circles without recompense.
Do you have a map of the city?
I do.
If I need to find these things, I can get there.
Indeed, I do.
Okay. That would be appreciated.
There is also a special marketplace, which I must suggest that you use. My understanding is that from the gate that you have brought food with you.
Yeah, my party and I have brought some food because we heard that would be useful for the inhabitants down here.
The rest of your party will probably not be well accepted there. It is a exclusively gnomish place, but as long as they keep their mouths shut and don't do anything to upset the social order, they will be allowed to help you offload your cargo, as long as you handle all of the talking.
I'll let them know that. It'll be a challenge for some, but yeah, we'll do our best.
You will probably get the best prices in the city there. It's not like you have to go to one of the 3rd quadrant districts, you know.
We should have named our party Disturbed Social Order.
I go, just out of curiosity, I had a gentleman, Refreem, approach me before I came in here.
He is a scavenger.
Okay, so there are better merchants to be found.
He will offload your goods quick, to be clear.
Mm-hmm.
He will offer you the best price he thinks he can get.
Understood.
I would never impugn upon the honor of a good gnomish citizen. However, it should be noted you can probably get a better price if you shop around. If you are looking for quick, you go to him. And of course, I would direct any human to go to him, you know. He works with those kind of people.
All right.
The final thing to note is that every week in the city, you and all of your companions will be asked to play the blood tax.
The what tax?
The blood tax.
Okay. And what's the blood tax for?
In order to keep the city lit and all of the magic around it, the barrier, the movement of air, the movement of water, keeping the 6th quadrant working, we require a reinfusement of the gem's power, which we take from the blood of, you know, living creatures. As you are, as far as I can tell, someone capable of casting magic, and many of your companions have such magic in their blood as well, they will provide a very bountiful harvest for their blood tax.
Interesting. So that blood tax is paid by every resident in the city?
Yes, once a week.
And then, so how many days from now is that due?
7 days from now, that is a week.
Okay.
Everyone doesn't pay on the same day.
Well, it's
It
just
would
good
be
to
very
know.
difficult to have everyone pay on the same day.
Yeah.
The rush would be insane. It's already pretty bad.
Logistics would be pretty horrible.
Yeah, well, there aren't enough, healers to leech it out of everyone as it is. They don't worry. I know it sounds bad, but it's just part of life down here, and they make sure that everything's clean.
Oh, it sounds very advantageous. So I'll just let my party know, and we've got 7 days to just prepare for that.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
I actually do not at this time, but am I able to come talk to you again if I have?
Of course. Yeah. I just have a few more things to talk about with you then.
Be my guest. I'm all ears.
Well, I mean, the first thing I need to ask is, are you really just down here to sell wheat?
Gosh darn, I'm always put in this corner. I go, I'll tell you what. I've heard that you guys, even though I haven't been to the city, the rumors in the surface world is that there is some kind of evil down here. So
there are many evils down here.
I am curious to see if there's opportunities to rid the world of evil. So my party and I are just, that's part of the reason why we're down here, is just to kind of safeguard and see if there's anything that we can do to help the world.
Mercenary work, then.
Less mercenary, more adventurers looking to do good.
Adventuring is not a job. Mercenary is a job. Hero is a job. Adventuring is a thing that happens by accident. If you are looking for work of that kind, I suggest you head to the auction district. Selling your services there, or at the very least gathering rumors from people who are well-traveled, will help you out.
That's great. Is there a contact you would recommend?
Not in particular.
Okay.
I would suggest that you walk through the area, absorb what you can.
Okay.
Now, speaking of contacts, there's one more thing I would speak to you about. You are a man of some influence, Rik-Jaxx. You encounter people of note, Baron Snarl Hardbast. You encounter the Wizard Lord of Mardurovian. You encounter princesses and kings and queens. Criminal leaders of the surface. You know things, you do things. The Securitat could use someone like you.
I think your intelligence network is fantastic.
I could be better if you were part of it.
Mm-hmm.
We would like to ask you to bring our consulates information about your travels and things that are happening on the surface. You would be rewarded for your service to the homeland.
It's like you're sounding more and more Russian all the time.
I don't understand.
No, it's a bad joke. Okay, so I'd be interested in that. I'd be certainly interested in sending information of the surface world, especially, or my ventures, so that if it can benefit the city, I'm always up for that. That's always a good thing for me.
That's good. It's good that you wish to serve the city. Excellent. So he hands you over a badge that says Securitat.
You want them? Bones. Okay.
When you are on the surface, if you encounter any other deep gnomes, flash this at them, and they will know that you are one of us.
Fantastic. I appreciate that.
Do not allow anyone else to see this. If you find yourself in a major city, find one of our consulates or a trading outpost. You will find one of us.
And I missed exactly what it was.
It's a badge that says Securitat.
Badge, okay.
It's kind of like that Securitat badge that I'm assuming Mick drew.
Fantastic, okay.
I don't really liking Drop Pile, guys. I won't lie.
Yeah,
You're not liking it?
No, I'm loving it.
You're loving it.
I'm loving it.
Like ba-da-ba-ba-ba loving it, or like you want to hold hands with it loving it?
I mean, I don't think we're at the point where we're holding hands, but we could get there.
Would you press foreheads together if it had a fever?
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
Okay, all right.
The art's looking amazing, and I like the line weight that you guys are doing. So it looks a lot of fun. I'm kind of bummed I didn't get to play for
Yeah, I like
drawing
the
it.
brushes a lot.
Don't worry, we will always have next week, and then Mick will be gone.
I just wonder if it was a Mac thing.
Yeah.
All right. Your interrogation at the hands of the Securitat is over. You are now officially a informant for the Securitat.
I'm gonna mark that on my.
Kazador, outside, you are being watched at all times. It's rather disturbing. Like, these people are all trained killers who move in and out of the shadows. Sometimes you watch people walk towards a wall and then just like appear out of a tower on the edge of the like upper walkway of the castle. So they just like teleport around all the time by walking into darkness. It is super disturbing, and they are always watching you.
Well, I thought you said there would be someone sitting down here.
There is someone sitting down drinking with you. Yes.
Okay. What's the? Hello. I mean, what are we getting? What are we drinking here? Oh,
What
yeah.
language are you speaking?
Common.
Yeah, he just nods at you and just.
Let's see. What other languages? I guess I don't speak dwarf. I try speaking dwarf.
Do dwarves speak
You say
Undercommon?
something in dwarf. So he like looks at you weirdly, and then he starts saying words. They're the kind of words that you would learn if all of your dwarven experience was with a dwarven prostitute.
All right. I just sit down and enjoy my drink. What kind of drink is it?
It looks and tastes like if coconut milk and vodka had a baby.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Every time your glass is empty, he refills the entire thing and then pushes it back towards you.
I'm only having like a small amount. Like I'm slowing my drink.
Oh, he attempts to get you to drink more.
Sure, but
Yeah, like every time you
sipping.
take any sip, then he refills it immediately, and then like gestures towards it.
Yeah, I'm only sipping.
Then he's like, "Drevoy, drevoy," and then he like gestures with his drink and like fakes drinking a lot, but then you realize he's not faking it. Like it starts pouring down his face as he's like, "Glug, glug, glug." And he pours some more. He's very insistent on getting you to try to drink.
So he is drinking, or he's not drinking?
He's definitely drinking.
He's
It's
definitely
halfway
drinking.
down his uniform.
Yeah, all right. I'm drinking. I'm not like going hog, but I'm regular speed drinking.
Okay, all right.
Regular speed drinking. That's pretty funny.
All right, so here's what happens. After a few drinks, he uses he casts magic of some kind, and his uniform instantly dries out. It's exactly like the magic you've seen Mortrick use.
Yeah.
At this point, several people have gathered around, and they're putting out more cups and more bottles near you. And it seems like this guy's attempt to get you to drink more has instigated a drinking contest. Would you like to participate? Y/N? There's some very serious social pressure here. They're all talking to each other, but you hear your name, Kazador, as a pronoun being thrown around a lot.
You know, I gesture for some food because I'm sort of a little queasy still. So I'm like, you got anything?
Everybody's like, ah. They bring you a small plate of sliced, roasted root vegetables and something that looks like a combination of coleslaw and cabbage that's been chopped into it's super boiled, super chopped. It's like borscht, but without any coloration.
Yeah. Okay.
Borscht is really good.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? My Wednesday night D&D group is all like, borscht is terrible. I hate borscht. Poland sucks. And I'm like, borscht is good.
Borscht is good, and Polish food is fantastic.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the spirit of Polish food, Kaz will engage in the drinking game.
Oh boy. All right. Let me ask you a question. How badly do you want to win this drinking game?
You know what? I don't mind losing. I don't mind. The Kaz doesn't mind losing. He's in enemy. You know, not. Full,
Does that mean you aren't going full throttle, or you are going full throttle and you don't mind if you end up being drunk under the table?
What I don't mind is, yeah, I'm pacing myself with him and seeing if I can sort of match his speed and then just outlast him in a marathon style drinking.
All right. Okay.
Pace, as opposed to like trying to like drink more than him, faster than him.
Okay.
It's a deep gnome, right?
Yes.
All right.
Super deep.
I'm trying to like keep it slightly controlled.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
All right.
I want to remind you that you haven't had anything to eat in 24 hours.
I just had the borscht.
Raw. Oh yeah, you're eating the borscht now. Well, it's definitely replacing that shitty raw wheat that you had to eat.
You're pretty
That's a Constitution
dehydrated.
save?
You're like dying.
That's a Constitution save,
Con
right?
saving throw at advantage. Yes.
There we go.
Nice.
Boom.
25. Yeah. Look, he
Natural 20.
drinks faster than you, right? And he's flipping over every glass, and he gets to like 10 pretty quickly before he, slows down. And everyone's just like, drink, 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 drink. This appears to be the only word they know in Dwarvish. You get up to 10, 11, 12. The other guy's already asleep, and you're at 15 glasses of whatever this stuff is. You are feeling very drunk. Like, it doesn't taste like it's super alcoholic, but you are now totally white girl wasted.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I'm fucking Kazador Whiteknuckle. So drunk right now. Like, I'm totally wasted. You have any more of this borscht? This is like the best borscht I've ever had. You have any borscht? I'm so drunk right now.
Yeah.
He's Waffle House drunk. That's how drunk he is.
He goes to one of the Neebnones like, borscht is actually really good, you know?
I'm signaling to the drink and I'm signaling to the borscht. I'm saying this is all just fantastic.
Compliments to the chef.
Rik-Jaxx, as you exit the Securitat's, outer security area, Kazador appears to be on top of a table talking about borscht in Dwarvish, waving around a bottle. And everybody's just like, yeah, Kazador!
Kaz, what you doing up there? What are you doing on the table?
Look, these guys, you got some great people here. You got some great people here, Rik-Jaxx. I love this place already.
Well, yeah, I'm proud of the deep gnomes. So, it looks like you've been drinking.
You can smell it off him. He reeks of it.
No, I know.
They invited. They invited me. You guys are friendly people.
It's basically milk. It's not even drinking.
Yeah. So I hope you at least won the contest.
Well, look at the other guy, and I point to him.
You guys all passed out. Excellent. Okay. Well, if you're able to walk, we should get back to the party. I've got some information to pass along.
What you hear? What's going on?
Well, let's go talk and walk.
Okay. You talk and walk.
Roll a walking save.
Yeah. What would that be?
I'm your guard, but I'm stumbling around.
Athletics. You have to do an athletics save.
Well,
just
me with the
later.
next
Look, he got a
20.
25 on that Constitution saving throw,
Yeah,
man. He
natural
keeps
20,
it
my dude.
together.
Yeah.
He's that
good.
guy that walks with his both fingers on his nose and does the alphabet backwards, high speed. He's practiced it 30 times today just to make sure he could get through this process.
I mean, if there's one thing that Kaz has experienced at, it's drinking at this point.
Okay.
Right?
The dice never lie.
So we get the drawn blades meeting up together in one of the third quadrant marketplaces where Leontro's setting up. It looks like Refreem had left you and is now hawking around Leontro, and he's just like, come on! I work with Sarazan all the time. Yeah, sure. All of his caravans have been failed to get here for a while, but look, human! I pay a good price. Right now, we offload your goods, I pay you in jewels, you go back on your business, turnaround time minimum. You get out of the town before anything bad happens to you. You know, this isn't the place for you. Come on.
Refrain, we appreciate the offer. We're gonna set up a little shop here and see what kind of offers we get from other merchants as well.
Other merchants? No. Okay, look, your cart is one business. This Captain Leandro Espresso guy is another one, okay? Let me take him aside. I'll talk to him. I'll come back to you in a minute.
That'd be fine. Hey, Mortrick, keep an eye on the captain. Make sure we get a good bargain.
Oh, please. You have no idea how good a bargain I cut for us back when I bought all these supplies.
Yeah, you're a natural, Mortrick. That's
I
why
didn't
that's what
negotiate the price at all. I paid market value on everything.
Was the
Retail.
ideal price.
I go to
Okay,
Kohl's without Kohl cash.
So sometime before this moment, I'll let these guys know everything except for the badge that I have, and that I might have a cache of hereditary money waiting for me.
What was the blood tax again?
Oh yeah, so they use the blood tax to fuel the magic to keep the city alive, as it were. So the blood tax, according to my contact, fuels the magic so that the gems light up, so that they can keep the air and the water clean.
And so you can use magic.
Yeah, so magic drives it. But they say they require a blood tax from every residence every 7 days.
I see. How much blood?
That's a good question. They didn't say how much.
Okay.
I didn't know.
I kind of feel like that was important. Speaking as someone who will be donating to this tax fund, I kind of feel like how much is a very important question right now.
I mean, given how much you get around Mortrick, I'm not sure if they're going to want your blood.
Oh my god. I don't understand. We've accused him of being a slut and a virgin in the same episode. And it's actually the same person, too.
Just a bit of fun, Mortrick.
I'm going to sort of shadow Captain Espresso to try to get the best deal possible for our wheat as well.
Okay.
Is this
For your... Okay, so just to be clear, Captain Espresso is negotiating for his wheat.
Right.
Okay.
I have
So
no formal training in wheat bartering, so
okay, all right.
trying to see.
So
if
it's
anyone
unclear to
of
me
his
because I thought Mortrick was doing this as well. So is it both of you like hanging around secretly pretending you're not involved with this, but occasionally leaning over and being like, no, not that price, this price.
I'm just trying to see what the best deal is.
Okay.
I'm like mostly just gonna watch Captain Cilantro handle it.
That is not his name, and you know it. So when you said, I'll watch over him, what you really meant is I will literally watch him and do nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Runa, make a investigation check real quick.
Sure. Investigation.
Okay, that's a 5. It's difficult to follow the conversation, simply because you don't understand the terms that they're using. Overhead, escrow, like what even are these? Are those words? Are they speaking Dwarven? So Leandro walks away with about 5 times the going price for weed on the surface.
Right.
And he gets it all in a sack of gems. And he then just says, all right, boys, spread out. Get the best wares that you can find here. We're taking them back. It's just what
Excuse me,
Sarzan ordered.
Captain?
Yes.
To speak bluntly, we have no experience with this, and I don't want us to get all of our money taken by getting into some kind of deal we're not prepared for. Is there some way you could help us offload this wheat?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it looks like this Refrain guy is offering a pretty good deal. I mean, 5 times the going price for weed is...
Would he be interested in our wheat?
He bought mine right off the back of the cart in the last 2 minutes.
Oh, all right. I'll have a word with him then.
Okay. All right.
Does Rik-Jaxx hear this conversation?
I mean, you sent Mortrick and over to do this. I mean, did you also pay attention?
No,
Yeah, you don't catch this part then.
That's what I'm after. Okay, thanks.
Mortrick, business has concluded, and it looks like Captain Leandro is going to negotiate on your behalf with Refreem.
I'm gonna just watch in stunned silence, and then afterwards, I'm going to approach Captain Leandro and have a word with him.
All right, Captain Leandro is just like, well, Runa asked me to get your wheat sold. And it looks like you're light a pound, but 199 pounds of wheat will bring you just short of 1,000 gold pieces here.
Just sort of, Jesus, 1,000
Thank
gold
you
pieces.
so much, Captain.
Sorry,
You know-
I'm sorry, it's not 1,000 gold pieces, it's 1,000 copper pieces,
1,000
which ends up being
What,
10 gold pieces.
10 gold pieces.
Oh, that's
That is-
perfect. I'll grab the money from him. That's exactly how much you owe me for the food.
And I'm just gonna like
Captain
grasp-
Leandro says, isn't that Kazador's wheat?
Yep.
Oh, that's right. They have to split the money up because they went halvesies. So you
Yeah.
actually owe me more. I'll throw the bag to Kaz. The 10.
All right, let's see. If, we do some math here. As usual, my expertise. If I had 9/25ths of a cart full of wheat, 10 gold.
That's 250 copper each. Or no, wait, it's 333 for.
But
Actually,
you guys
it's
didn't you
probably
split it?
333, 334 for Rik-Jaxx and I, and you get what's ever left because you ate something.
No.
Never eat your own product. I don't know much, but I know that.
Don't get hungry on your own supply.
I paid for 9/25ths of it. I'm taking 9/25ths of that gold.
So what's the fair share? I'll just take whatever the fair share is for Rik-Jaxx.
I think it's 9/25ths, 3.6 gold pieces for
Fine,
you.
I'll
and me.
take 3.
And then 7/25ths, 2.8 for Mortrick.
280 copper. Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
But did we get paid in copper or gold?
We got paid 1,000 copper pieces.
Okay.
But you
So
can
I'm gonna
just
go over.
gold.
So,
Runa.
I want to be clear here. You lost an enormous amount of money buying rations and making this journey.
Oh, I spent everything. I'm gonna go over to Runa with my 280 copper and be like, 1, 2.
I'll just grab the bag.
Or I'm not done yet.
I already grabbed it. I'll wait and just be like, huh,
Oh, we have a map.
we have a little bit more to work out, Mortrick, but I hope you learned your lesson.
You know, I probably haven't.
So Captain
I know.
Leandro is pulling barrels out of a set of bags of holding with the Sarazan emblem built into them, and each of them appears to be full of wheat. And he's got like 15, 20 barrels there, and is being handed a enormous pile of gemstones as a result. It looks like he brought several dozen times the amount of wheat that you guys did.
Can't win them all.
Well, they did well.
Yeah, they're professionals.
That was some good work. That was some good work. My God, that man.
I want to point out you didn't even pay for the price of either of the cards.
Nope. Can we sell the carts now that we're down here? We
Oh,
don't
yeah,
really
sure.
need them.
Yeah. You can get 75% of the price back for the carts and the mule if you want to try to
I
reclaim them.
mean, take that up with the group. We could make a little bit of our money back.
I mean, do we need the card again? Where are we going?
We used it just to get out of the city.
Are we gonna like haul? Well, right, but like, where are we going? Can we buy stuff here and take it with us to wherever we're going, and then sell it there? Like,
Yes, absolutely.
Is this the
Absolutely,
thing?
yeah.
You
Or
can
mind you, we could always
and
eat
make
the
money?
donkeys.
No. Anyways,
Mortrick is like, what if we became merchants as a profession and adventured because we are bad at it?
we're just Shield Hero now.
I'm just
Oh
like,
my
I'm
God,
used to,
not
like,
Shield
if I
Hero.
owe money, borrowing money from someone I don't owe money to pay off the money I owe to someone else. This whole like
Isn't that how you got into the fiasco with your college?
right? But it all worked out in the end, so clearly it worked.
Yes, because someone bailed your ass out.
Well, right, but I'm still fine now, so clearly the system works. Is what
Clearly,
I'm saying.
you've learned nothing, is what we're getting at.
I'm saying the system works.
Saying the system worked in your favor once.
If it worked once, why wouldn't it work again?
If we need a cart again, we can buy one again.
I want to point out the carts are currently carrying a large amount of equipment, including 3 barrels.
Except for the one cart we offloaded with all the wheat.
Right. The wheat cart is now empty. The barrel cart is still full of like sledgehammers and bear traps.
I'm carrying the sledgehammer.
Okay.
And some other items.
Yeah. And we didn't bring the barrels with us. I left them in front of the store.
Wow. Okay. Well, then that cart is very empty, and you can spend as much time in it as you want. You could ride that cart. Just you though, because can only carry 200 pounds.
Yeah, we'll just if nobody else is opposed to it, we can sell the cart and the donkey.
If you want to sell both carts and both donkeys, mules, you can get 35 gold pieces back.
Perfect.
I said we keep one of them in case we need it.
Yeah.
I mean, one of it, like, it was kind of useful when Hal was around. Man, why did that guy leave? I thought he was happy here.
Hal's not around, so do we really need it?
What if we find another Hal?
I'm thinking we keep one of the carts, but we could certainly sell the spare. And we probably need to find a place where we're going to. We don't know how many days we're going to be down here, so we probably need to find a place to stay.
I say we only sell one cart and keep one cart.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
17 and a half gold pieces back.
Okay.
I'm going to go over to Runa with my copper and be like, 1.
I'll just take the bag and pull 7 gold pieces out of it.
How much do I owe you anyway?
Nothing now. It was 10 gold pieces altogether.
I need to buy some more of those rations off you. I don't want to starve wherever we go next.
Yeah.
You're in the city now. You can buy rations here.
I'll just give you all of my money and you just give me 1 ration a day. I'm fine with that system too.
All right. It was more of a teaching tool, but if you insist.
Yeah.
He needs more lessons.
It's a lot of work to learn. I'd rather not do it.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if we're gonna load up on rations for later, let's get it done ahead of time. How much are rations in the area?
They are 2.5 gold pieces.
Okay.
no, it's not the button.
Each?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll buy 10.
You're paying 25 gold pieces?
Well, what other option? I suppose I don't see any other option. Gotta have some rations. So.
Yeah, I mean, you could get food at places that you can eat at, or buy raw food and try to cook it.
I guess I'll hold off.
Yeah, hey, maybe you can buy some of that wheat off of Leandro. You know, keep it for
Sold all the wheat.
Yeah, wheat's gone. Wheat's gone. That ship sailed, Mortrick.
Damn. Where else are you gonna get wheat like that?
Mortrick is busy looking at a empty bundle of wheat going, why is all the wheat gone?
But why is the wheat gone?
How much are rations again? Sorry.
They're 2.5 gold pieces a piece.
Ooh.
Yeah, they cost 5 times as much.
Man, this shit's pricey.
It's almost like an underground location with no access to surface crops pays a very large premium for food.
You're right. Where is, I'm assuming Espresso got all of his rations before he came down.
Yeah, so his group like made food while they were down.
Got it.
They like turned wheat into bread and used some of the cookable material. I mean, they had a wagon. They had spare wagons so they could carry extra gear like ovens and stuff.
You're right.
So was it the auction district that we had a contact of possibly meeting someone who might hire out mercenaries?
Yeah, so you can head to the auction district and kind of listen in, maybe offer your services.
Okay. And this district we're in now is just the marketplace.
So you're in the first quadrant, which is next. So there are 5 quadrants. There's the 4 pillars that are along the outside of the city. Then there's the central pillar. That's the royal palace. And at the upside, on the reverse side of the ceiling, is the 6th quadrant, which you're not sure what's up there. But, I mean, people are walking upside down there, so it's just probably wild, right? I mean, make sure your change doesn't fall out of your pocket.
Sounds pretty wild. Yep. Okay. So I think I suggest to the group, I still think we need to find sort of a home base of operations, and then maybe we should go check out this auction district.
It's your city, Rik-Jaxx. Where to?
Well, my city, but still a group. So what do you guys want to do first? Go to the auction or try to find a place where we can keep our cart, and maybe find a place to use as a home base or sleeping quarters or something along those lines?
Man, I want to remind you, you actually have a whole series of estates that are literally, you're Harry Potter. You have a pile of money, you have a house in your name. All you have to do is boot out all the orphans that live there.
That's all I have to do.
Yeah, no problem, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, just be aware, your character knows this in character. That there's all you gotta do is get rid of this drow woman and you can get your family's house back.
Yeah, so I'm thinking the auction district.
Okay.
But in fairness, let's put it to the group. I mean, I'll tell them that my estates are still intact, or so I'm told. And it sounds like the city officials will back me up if we're able to move out or evict the current residents.
I'm all for the estates. We need to set up a home base before we can get anything done.
Do we have to kick anyone out? Can't we just sidle alongside these people for a while? I mean, I don't know why kick out orphans.
Why immediately jump to kicking them out? It seems.
I think it's fair we could go see what the environment is like, because maybe that'll be an option. But it sounds like I have a claim to them because they were my parents' estates. So for me to reclaim them, we may have to, I don't know, kick people out. I'm not in favor of kicking people out. I'm just saying what was passed along to me. So let's go scout ahead and see what we can find.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to suggest for now, we don't actually have to kick anyone out just to stay there, right? Maybe.
Let's go scout.
Yeah.
Okay. And I heard Runa say yes, and Mick, did you say yeah too?
To not kicking people out? Yes.
Yeah, and go exploring the estates before the auction district.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, what are we after? Big picture.
Refresh too. What's the item we're after?
Yeah.
Does anyone remember?
My notes are on my other document. I can't consult my notes.
There was something going on down here, wasn't there? Did you ask him about it, Rik-Jaxx?
Did you bring your notes to the open book test, Connor? God.
Yeah.
Where's your notes?
I don't take notes.
Oh.
Rick just steals all my shit. Did you talk to them about any of it, Rik-Jaxx, when you were in there with your interview?
Oh my god, is that Rik-Jaxx? Sorry, is that Kazador without his shirt on screaming Waffle House?
It's pretty much my favorite thing Mick's ever drawn.
I want to point out, by the way, at the end of the last episode, Mick was like, all right, well, I'll export all these files and I'll put them on the Discord. And I'm just like, look at this fucking beautiful Waffle House Kazador. I'm never going to be able to get Mick to give it to me.
Well, luckily, I have it. So.
Well, I mean, it's underneath 2 other drawings.
I think I might be on a
layers, my friend. Layers.
All right, you figure the layers out. We'll work on it.
Yeah. I don't know. There's other gremlin ladies on the same layer, but yeah.
Where's the layers thing, Connor?
Looks like it's in the lower right-hand corner.
Lower right, yeah.
Yep.
I can see it from Kazador's point of view. So, all right. So your plan is to head to your estates. and talk to Matron Guafina?
Sounds like that's the plan. Yep.
All right, so you head to the 3rd district. It's a disaster. Even 25 years later, the scars of war have not disappeared. Each deep gnome family appears to live with like their entire extended family and like 8, 10, 12 building enclaves surrounded by a low wall. Everything is lit with gems. As you make your way to the 3rd quadrant, that is not the case. Most of the walls have been knocked down. Several of the buildings have clearly been looted. There's nothing inside of the broken open areas. There's no banners. There's nothing covering the windows. There's trash in the streets, loose animals wandering around. But in the middle of all of this, you come upon something like a beacon. It has a few very weak gems providing extremely low light around it. And it has in Gnomish, the House of Jaxx in Gnomish runes over its gate. Inside, you can see a number of drow children aged from extremely young, barely able to walk, up to about teenager age, being overlooked by a very beautiful drow woman. Kind of very lighter shade of drow skin tone, almost bluish brown, long ears, extremely busty, wearing a dress that makes it clear that attraction is a part of drow culture. And she sees you approach the gate and comes walking over. Sauntering is probably the better term. And says, "I'm sorry, can I help you?"
All right, now we're here. What do you guys want to do?
Yes, what do you want to do?
Is she speaking common?
She is speaking common.
Okay.
It's your state, Rik-Jaxx. It's up to you.
Yeah, our friend would like to have words with you about this house. Rik-Jaxx, why don't you take care of this?
So she, makes to open the twin gates and says, "You are the heir of the House of Jaxx."
That is correct.
Then it would appear that this is your family's estates. If you would like, we can attempt to find another place to go.
That won't be necessary. He's just joking with you with that incredibly pregnant pause. No, that's fine. You guys can stay.
When you say that, she moves over and hugs you. It's a very warm contact hug.
Like, ooh.
Full
okay.
body involved.
Yeah, okay. Right, yes.
You become immediately aware that her body temperature is like 10 or 15 degrees higher than yours.
You are welcome. All right. Rik-Jaxx, and you need to figure out some details here immediately.
So I guess I want to tell you guys, what you're going to notice about Rik-Jaxx, though, is that you can see an anger in him because he's not happy with the drow. So I suggest someone else do the talking because I'm not quite sure what he can do.
I mean, in character, you would do whatever it is you're going to do. Don't let us stop you from playing out who you're character.
Yeah.
Like we don't know what you want.
Master Jax.
Okay, so go ahead.
We are only using one of the 7 buildings here. Just the main hall. I've kept several of the side halls available. If you and your friends would like to use it, I'm sure it would be more than enough space. For now, I'm not sure what your purpose is in coming back, but as I've been caretaking this estate for the Securitat, I would be more than willing to speak to you about continuing on and maintaining these estates for you.
Okay, so you work for or with the Securitat?
I work with them.
And how is it that you came by the estates in the first place? I mean, I know after the sacking, I have to ask the obvious question, and I mean no offense, but you're drow. How is it that a drow, has come to occupy the estates of my family?
There are many drow throughout the city, and she like shifts uncomfortably and folds her arms and says, Clan Shadowspinner is not as straightforward as we all had hoped at the time. There is a evil to them that many of us would prefer not to face. We have accepted refuge in this city in exchange for service. During the sacking, several drow were left behind, and their children and those who have been lost, well, they bring them here to me. And I make sure that they are taken care of, and when they come of age, they are permitted to join one of the auxiliary battalions.
So you're telling me you're a Clan Shadowspinner?
I am not a member of Clan Shadowspinner.
Oh, okay.
Joining Clan Shadowspinner is extremely complicated.
And who in the city is of Clan Shadowspinner?
There are no members of Clan Shadowspinner within this city.
That's good to know.
That would be very bad for their health.
Yeah.
There are several dwarven clans, but this Shadowspinner is less of one of our traditional clans. They are not united by blood, but by worship of a dark fae.
Sorry, you meant drow, right?
Drow, yes, sorry. Drow clans. They cavort, and the things that they do are... God, I don't think she'd say inhumane because she's dwarf, or she's drow, and she wouldn't use humane as the base, but the things that they do are unnatural. Offering pacts and sacrifices to things better left on other planes. Several of my family members, and at least one of my children, are a member of Clan Shadowspinner, and it brings me the deepest shame. So much so that I have fled my traditional homeland to live here among people who consider me to be an enemy. But the Shadowspinner have grown in power every day. They are a dire threat to all of the underworld. And even now, that thing that we call the Underdark, this magical enemy, that energy that radiates the area around us, that the city protects us from, but those who delve deeper from here are affected by its madness. Even the Drow's natural resistant to magic. The Shadowspinner allow it in.
Okay.
So she's got like the beginning of a tear in one of her eyes as she's gazing away wistfully. It's hard to tell whether it's natural or whether she's giving you a speech right now. She seems to be very professional at telling this story.
I'm going to pat her on the shoulder,
Can I
console.
insight check her?
Oh, sure. Yeah, go
I'd
ahead.
like to do an insight as well.
All right. Anybody else?
I'm patting her on the shoulder, consoling. I'd buy it 100%.
17 for Runa. What about Rik-Jaxx? Kazador, that's a 4. Let me ask you a question, Kazador. What's got you distracted? Right? Is it whoa, you know, there's kids in the background, there's gems everywhere, you know, everything's fucking wild here. He's hearing about Clan Shadowspinner. Maybe he's holding his warhammer like Shrine of Leos power, or maybe he just likes hot drow women. I don't know, I'm asking you, man.
I think there is a bit of a crossing of wires there with her, and then also the fact that he's got this grudge out for Clan Shadowspinner. But I mean, he believes her now. He obviously believes her that she's not of Clan Shadowspinner, and he can rest his warhammer.
Runa, Rik-Jaxx, is there anything in particular you're looking for with your insight checks?
Sincerity.
Yeah, just trying to tell if she's exactly what he just said, sincere, or if this is a lie.
Everything she's telling you is true, but the way she's structuring the story is very constructed. This is not some offhand tale that she had to come up with on the spot. Everything she's telling you is a speech that's been prepared, possibly for this exact moment. You know, every part of it is, oh no, poor me, my whole life is terrible, but here I am saving these orphans. Don't kick me out of this house.
Okay, so we'll take you up on the offer and we'll take part of the residence.
Okay.
And can you tell me anything more about the 7 defenders? I've heard.
Oh, yeah. So she walks you over to one of the guest houses. So we've got it here. It's 2 stories tall, and the top floor is 6 bedrooms, and then the bottom floor has a oven, a furnished dining room, a storage room, and kind of like a general area. There's crates and boxes everywhere. There's even looks like there's a wine cellar that might even have some functional alcohol down there.
Kaz, that'll be your bedroom.
Wow.
More of the stuff you got. Your
Got some more of that deep no milk.
Yeah. Milk of the poppy over here.
Right.
So as you mentioned the 7 defenders, she kind of starts for a moment and says, you know, I haven't caught any of your names.
My name is Runa.
Kazador.
Oh, I'm Mortrick. Mortrick Egan Hattlespar. Mr. Hattlespar.
So she lays a hand on your arm and says, Mr. Hattlespar.
Yes, that's me. I'm Mortrick Egan Hattlespar. Yes.
For the rest of you, it's very obvious that she has locked on to Mortrick as the most easily impressionable and manipulatable member of the party.
Yeah, it's not hard. The DC is low.
And she says, well, I'm Matron Guffinna, and let me tell you about the 7
You
defenders.
don't look like a matron at all.
She looks like she might be offended by that statement. As she like smooths her dress down to sit down and gestures for all of you to join her at the table, we fade to black.
No. No, we just got
the story.
You're like, no, we spent the whole time role playing and we only made like 2 rolls. It was terrible. We only made like way more art than normal. Like there's a lot of fucking art this time around.
Yeah. I gotta keep up pace with Mick. I mean, he's so fast. Sorry, go ahead.
Don't keep pace with Mick. That's terrible.
No, that's like
horrible
the
advice.
DC is really high for that. I just try to stay out of its way until it hits a wall.
Yeah, some great pieces.
Yeah, you guys did great.
This whole thing is freaking amazing.
This is a lot of fun. I'll admit. Like, I really like this.
Not gonna lie, I didn't go into this thinking I'd see Kaz in a Waffle House with the shirt off. But hey, here we are. And I love it. It's great.
It took us 16 episodes to get here.
Yeah.
And by the way, we're finally hitting Rik-Jaxx's backstory 16 episodes in.
We peaked, guys. This is the end game.
Doesn't get any better.
All right.
Yeah, I think we want to see Kaz get drunk more often. He's very entertaining.
You guys each get 100 experience points.
Yes.
I don't know why you're guessing that. That's a very small amount of experience.
Yeah.
It's better than 0.
Well, you know, you were very close to getting 0. It was not an experience kind of night.
Did I get XP for charming that guy?
No.
No?
No.
I get experience for the Waffle House episode.
Jesus. I mean, where do you think this experience points are coming from?
I have
Come
no
on.
idea. Where'd they come from?
Well,
What do we have?
combat and completing significant story goals.
Waffle House was not a significant story goal?
You got drunk in the middle of a secret police station.
Yeah, and I beat the guy. I showed him.
That is not a significant story goal. That might be a significant personal goal. In which case you were rewarded with victory.
1 million personal XP.
I love victory.
So what are we at now? 35.47?
37.97.
37.97.
37.97.
Are you drawing Mortrick's girlfriend now?
Well, I was thinking here, Connor, can you scroll over to this lady next to Drunk Kaz?
Yeah.
I was thinking he was going to mac on a gnome chick, but now that this drow hottie is around,
Yeah, I didn't try to go into very big detail because I didn't want people to know about my drow preferences. But
How they do.
oh, I did not go into any of the detail about my drow preferences.
Well,
All right.
you like them
If she doesn't have
screaming
fangs, let her pass on by. That's all I'm saying.
for their
All I'm
body.
saying is I'm open for commissions.
All right, so where were we at on XP? 37.97?
Yeah.
Yes, guys. I did say busty, but that was pretty much the only descriptive word I used. I assume that with all these wonderful artists here, each of them has a different idea of what a busty blue black skinned drow matron will end up looking like.
This one has got
Yeah. Surely she wears an A cup.
most supportive.
Is
She
in
wears
your
an A
world is an A cup busty for an elf?
There's an A cup, but it's not the correct thing she should be wearing. She wants support.
What are most elves for you? Washboards?
Hers is an A patch.
It's concave.
Yeah, there's negative space.
Oh my god. I want to apologize to every woman in the world right now. Let's do some outros. Yes, I do regret my actions now, by the way. I also regret the actions of the other cast members, but that's pretty normal for me as well.
Yeah, it's pretty normal for me too.
Bearded, let's just go ahead and start with you for outros.
What's up, guys? If you want to find out any of my social media stuff, you can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at beardedjalapno, JALAPNO. And if anybody wants commissions, I'm open for them. Apparently, AP has commandeered me though, so you might have to go through him first.
We'll talk about
Yeah. But yeah, what about you, Connor?
Me, I'm gonna kick it off on Twitch in a moment. So, I'm at twitch.tv/conorhughes. Right now, we're doing some comic book pages, and come on by, join us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shep, home. Shep.
Hey, guys.
What's going on with you?
So robSHEPart, that's the new moniker. That's the one that I use everywhere. So it'll be easier for me to say and easier for you to remember. I'm going to be twitching in a little while, perhaps in an hour or less. So come on by and let me know that you've seen the show. I'd appreciate that. And I'll see you guys on Twitch, and I'll see you guys next week here. Mick, it's all you.
I'm Mccomicker on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm currently open for busty drow commissions. For let's just say.
Why don't you break me off a piece of sample art for next week? I'll get
Doing
back
that
to
right
you.
now.
I'm working on it.
Yeah,
I need the finished piece before I know how good you are at it.
I usually stream on Twitch. I probably only have like a week left on Twitch before summer hours start. And then I only stream on Twitch occasionally at best. But next week's going to be my last week for the show for a while, and I'm pretty upset about it. Maybe I just send Evie to camp all summer next year, and I don't have this problem again.
Look, if we're still playing after a fucking year, I'm just gonna be like, wow, it's been a whole year. Holy shit. We have so much artwork.
But
I'll just be surprised if we live for a year.
Didn't you just finish a 4-year D&D party?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
almost
that
died
was-
so many times you don't even know, because I also played a bard in that game.
I don't know if you heard last episode, but someone went back and rewatched the first episode. Runa actually was supposed to die. It's not your negative HP plus 1, it's your negative HP. So in the first episode, Runa
Oh,
actually
damn.
would have been dead.
That would have been so heartbreaking.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, those badgers, right? The badgers? The
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
I
I don't
remember
remember which part it was. I
probably
mean,
that dog I didn't
Just got
stab.
wrecked.
I remember the Badgers kicked their ass.
Yeah, that was.
All
Well,
of us.
they kick some people's asses, yeah.
No, the Badgers were kicking all of our asses. So
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't.
Kazador's the one that scared the Badgers off with the morale check when they were all dying, and then the Badgers were like, well, I don't like being dead. I'm gonna go another direction.
yeah.
He's trying to be like, oh, look how hard I am. I fucking dealt with those Badgers, man.
Yep.
Scaring them off by picking out the guns. Wow!
That's right. Right.
I don't even need to make that weapon. I could just bring out these. Bam, bam.
Connor, can you do that move where you can flex and kiss your own bicep? I want to see that.
No, not anymore.
That's a different subscription tier, my dude.
That's on the tabletop after dark XXX. You gotta be paid at least $60 on our secret Patreon for that.
And that's where we play all players shirts off. Ooh.
Please no.
Nobody wants to see that.
Somebody does, but
That's the tier where Connor jumps off on a table with 2 beers in his hand like in a Waffle House.
yeah.
Connor's like everything is somebody's fetish. Okay, I'm sure 5 shirtless guys.
It's just not the people that you want to be there.
Put a donation goal up and we can stream from a Waffle House.
Oh god.
You know, make it to like Georgia.
Hey, we already made $75 from Charlie. He said he'd pay $75 not to see it.
Don't worry, you don't need to pay anything. We just need to not do it. Do we have anything else to cover?
I don't think
do
so.
you like these fangs to go up or down?
Oh, you gotta have the fangs from up
Down.
to down. Yeah.
Yep.
Up to down?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Down
Yeah.
to up is orc, down to or up to down is drow.
Wait,
Well, or
what?
vampire, but really,
vampire,
you know, any woman that's going to give you the kind of hickey that maybe draws a little bit of blood, she puts some claws on her back,
Like,
maybe.
she has thin fangs on like the upper row pointing down.
Yeah, exactly. You just need someone who's going to destroy your life as long as you're going to have a fantasy waifu.
Yeah.
I got through that with a straight face, which is much better than I thought I was.
We just learned a little bit more.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't even know anymore. Look,
I'm gonna be so ashamed after I take this commission from you. I'm not gonna be a rapper child anymore.
I'm gonna have to get off Twitch for like a month.
I've seen your drawing. Nick. Don't try and pretend otherwise.
You know how many hands are gonna be holding in that picture, man? All of them.
All the
The
hands.
hands, they're just going to be, you know, there's going to be bleeding in between the
I don't
fingers.
know.
I'm gonna draw a picture of just hands being held. And my God, Connor's not gonna be able to contain himself.
Now that we've killed AP,
I
you can
don't,
sign up.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I haven't streamed in like 2 weeks and this is my first one. But I can't even fucking handle it right now. All right. All right. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right.